Transistor is a gorgeous and evocative adventure through one of the most beautiful virtual landscapes ever conceived, where constant narration guides and compels you to explore and soak in every incidental detail. This is coupled with a brilliantly executed and novel story that is filled with interesting ideas, as well as an addictive combat system that has you planning strings of attacks before executing. Alone, these elements are wonderful, but combined, they are exemplary. You play as Red, a lounge singer who's had her voice snatched. Upon stumbling upon the Transistor, a talking futuristic gizmo that doubles up as a sword, Red goes on a quest through the beautiful city of Cloudbank to retrieve her voice. Things quickly turn ugly, and the virulent robotic presence called the Process impedes your travel with murderous intent. Whimsically, the Transistor narrates your entire journey, and, with Red's inability to speak, his voice fills your ears for the majority of the game. He'll comment on the enemies you fight, vistas that you stop and absorb, and every other feature of the game's vibrant environment.
Hey Mr. Moyle, you in there?
The way the Transistor spoke to Red throughout the game provided me with a surprisingly large amount of comfort and empathy.
I'm so sorry, Red. They took your voice. I couldn't stop them. Well, we took something of theirs. Hey, let's just go. Come on, just go. Just... yeah.
Dealing with the Process is the core of Transistor. Throughout, you can find and attach functions such as Crash and Help to the Transistor, just like equipping materia in Final Fantasy VII. This allows for up to 4 attacks. For example, a close range slash, or firing a beam that bounces between enemies. These in turn can be buffed with additional functions, such as an extra backstab damage, or adding an area of effect explosion. Each function can also be used to provide passive buffs to Red. Experience is gained upon completing fights, with levelling adding new functions to Red's arsenal. While combat can be handled by simply mashing the DualShock 4's face buttons to haphazardly attack, the real beauty of this system begins by activating Turn. This function freezes all enemies and allows you to string together attacks and movement to create a chain of devastating force, which then executes in real time. Using Turn triggers a cooldown period where no functions can be used, creating a careful nuance to effectively utilising it. Many times I found myself running in a panic, waiting for it to recharge, chased by a slew of surviving enemies.
They're gone, but so is this whole block.
Each fight is a blast. Being able to strategically plan your course of attack is heaps of fun, and, with the ridiculously large combinations of functions to play around with, never grows tiresome. This is in part due to the death mechanics, or should I say the lack of. Upon losing all of her HP, Red will simply overload one of her primary functions, rendering it useless until reaching a terminal 2 fights away. This cleverly meant that I was forced to experiment with other functions until I could recover my overloaded ones. The city of Cloudbank itself is picturesque.
Let's have a look downstairs. Gotta be a leader somewhere.
Transistor takes place in a hand-painted isometric world, and it is absolutely stunning. A true thing of beauty and a pleasure to look at. The attention to detail is astonishing. As Red drags the Transistor along the ground, sparks scurry across the floor, branching out in an awe-inspiring computer chip-inspired pattern. The entire world of Cloudbank and each and every organism inside it is brought to life with great credit to Transistor's amazing sense of style. Not content in being just a pretty face, Transistor uses sound phenomenally.
When you speak, I hear silence. Every word a defiance. I can hear, oh, I can hear. Think I'll go where it suits me.
The utterly brilliant narration aside, the soundtrack is fantastic. There's a delightful mix of tracks and they all fit the tone of the world perfectly. In a stroke of genius, there's a hum button that allows you to take a step away from the game and let Red hum along to the soundtrack. There's something melancholic yet uplifting about hearing Red enjoy music without her voice. And I felt compelled to use it multiple times in order to just sit back and enjoy the tranquility. Transistor oozes style. It's consistently a sensory delight and has a riveting combat system that only ever gets better the more you play. I'm thrilled that Transistor has a New Game Plus mode because I cannot wait to go back for more. Start Replay gives Transistor 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece.
Hey, Red. We're not gonna get away with this, are we?
For the full written review, head to startreplay.com.